Okay, so now we already learned the part 3. Issue in e-invoice using the My Invoice Portal. Okay. So now our sessions is the frequently asked questions. This is a test for you. You need to answer the question, but you don't need to say out loud. You don't need to talk out your answer. You just think about the answer and answer by yourself inside your heart. Okay, you don't need to tell me. Okay, then I will give you the answer. Then you see how many questions you can answer correctly. It's a test for you, right? If you can answer most of the question, means you are a good student. Pass already. Okay, so this FAQ I get from the FAQ from MCS, and another half is I collected from the questions which are frequently asked during the sharing sessions. Okay, so we go to the first question. Okay, first question is a very simple one. Are all taxpayers allowed to continue claiming for tax deductions for personal tax period without an e-invoice? This is not knowledge for e-invoice. This is a knowledge for the tax actually, but something to do with e-invoice. You can try and answer it. Maybe I get you right. Okay? Without an e-invoice, but with normal invoice. But with normal invoice or normal receipt. Okay? Can I? Okay, I give you the answer. The answer is yes. Because you need to differentiate. E-invoice is e-invoice. E-invoice asks you what? Asks you to issue e-invoice. Okay. Tax is tax. Tax is what? Tax, they will test you whether your expenses is for the business or not. Is for the business, yes, you can deduct. If not for the business, sorry, you cannot deduct. So there are two kind of things. Okay. So, but now the answer is, the question is asking you, are you able to claim the tax deduction even though no invoice filed? Yes, you have a normal invoice. Okay, as long as the expenses is for your business, so no worries, you can still claim for tax deduction. Or the invoice is issued to you for your personal relief, you still can go ahead to claim. Okay. Most of you answered correctly. Okay, the second one. With SMEs, micro, small, medium enterprise. Okay, they have been mandatory to implement invoice, be eligible for the exemptions. Again, if their annual revenue fall below 150k threshold in the subsequent years. This year, I meet the threshold 150k. I start e-invoice. Next year, oh sorry, economy no good. My revenue dropped less than 150k. So next year I can exempt for e-invoice or not? This is same with GST. If you go through GST era, you will know that. Once you start GST, means that what? Forever you need to do GST. So same thing. Okay, no exemption will be given, even though after you start e-invoice, your revenue drop less than 150k, so you still need to carry on with e-invoice. Okay, so once start e-invoice, forever you doing e-invoice. Okay. Third question: if MSME, small medium company, SME, conduct sales through physical store as well as e-commerce platform, selling Lazada and Shopee, and also have a physical shop. This is very common. Okay? Must the SME issue e-invoice for the transaction for both sources? Actually, these questions have two answers. I hint you already. So everyone got answer already, Got that? Okay, so the answer is for the physical store, okay, yes, you need to issue e-invoice. For the e-commerce platform, it's not required to issue any e-invoice. Why? Because the platform provider will sell you for the supplier. Right? This one you understand? Okay, yes. Answer correctly, Good. Number 4. In relation to acquisition of goods from foreign supplier, import, this is import. Okay. When will the Malaysian buyer will be required to issue separate e-invoice? When? Import got two kinds, right? Goods, and then the second is service. cases are good, we need to determine by what. Okay, you try answer inside your heart. Got the answer already? Right? Okay, the answer is required to issue self-bill invoice letters by end of the second month following the month of the Lawyer Malaysian Custom Department clearance to obtain the imported goods. So after the clearance, second month end. Okay, correct, huh? Number 5. Can I issue self-bill invoice for all suppliers that did not issue invoice to me? All, right? So I mentioned just now, right? Self-bill invoice got special circumstances. So the answer is no. Depends whether the supplier is doing business. If not doing business, is sexual theft. So issue a self-bill invoice is only permitted for circumstances that are provided under section 10.3 of the E-Invoice specific guidelines. 10.3 got 9 situations that only you can issue self-bill invoice. It's not all. Oh, but this one, you don't have any question. This one I've been challenged by a lot of people. You know what is a challenge they ask me? If I have buy something, okay, from individual or from enterprise, and the enterprise don't want to give me invoice, and he said that his revenue is under 150K. Even though it's less than 150K, you still need to give handwritten receipt or what receipt, and you don't want to give. And I already know his revenue is more than 150K, and yet that person don't want to issue invoice to me. So what can we do? This is a very challenging question. I have an unofficial answer for this. Because you cannot get official answer. No official answer for this. Unofficial answer is you issue self-bill invoice. Okay, I'm using a logic here. The logic is, I don't know whether this person, okay, doing business, whether his revenue is more than 100K or not. Okay, so I need to get a receipt, right? Okay, this is where you know the person should issue invoice, but they issue handwritten invoice to you. And another assumption you can put is, okay, I think this person is not doing business. It's individual, so I issue self-bill, even though I know this person is doing business. So you do the self-bill. Okay. It's wrong or right? I would say it's wrong, but why you want to do so? Because it solves the problem. Although it's quite wrong, but is there any penalty for this? No, no penalty for this. But you can protect yourself. You do the self-bill. Okay. This is not the correct answer, but this is the solution for this scenario. Until further guidance come up with this, because now I read through all the guidance, no answer for this question. Okay, so this is regarding the refund note. Refund note scenario. Okay, when you should issue refund note. Okay. Supplier issued invoice to buyer and buyer paid accordingly. After defect goods are returned and supplier refund the money to the buyer. Remember just now I explained to you refund note, you need to think about one key thing, invoice. Okay, so you can answer for this already or not? Okay. The answer is yes, you need to issue refund note. Anyone get this wrong? No, okay. So second, supplier issued invoice to buyer and buyer accidentally paid extra. Paid extra, then you refund the extra portion to the buyer. So do you want to issue refund note? No. Third one. Okay, supplier never issue any invoice, but the buyer paid the money. Then you refund the money. You want to issue refund note? No. Okay. Supplier refund security deposit. Security deposit is refundable. Refundable means that you never issue invoice. So when you refund money, no need to issue refund. So very clear. Okay. So this one also a lot of people answer wrongly. Does My invoice portal allows for editing for information within 72 hours after the invoice has been validated. So within 72 hours, can you edit the invoice? You think? You need to answer me. You answer by yourself. Logically, okay, the answer is no. Cannot edit. Not allowed to edit invoice after validated. Validated means, okay, that's it. Cannot change already. Even though it's within 72 hours. Okay, next question, right? So the issuer accidentally made a mistake during the issuance of e-invoice or self-payment invoice. How should the issuer rectify this mistake if the issuer notices the mistake within 72 hours from the time of validations and the said invoice, or for the invoices? Now it's saying you cannot edit. So what should you do? Wrong idea. Okay. The answer is cancel the e-invoice and reissue a new invoice. Just cancel it and do a new one. Don't edit. Cannot edit. Oh, okay. So now the question is one by one. Okay, you notice the mistake after the following weeks. So it's already after 72 hours. So you cannot cancel everything. Become permanent. What should you do? Imagine when there's money. Oh, wrong already. Oh, after 72 hours. So you issue what? CN, DN, or refundable. Issue CN or DN to you change the figure of the invoices. Because CN, DN need to time the invoice one. Okay. So you can make these changes using CN, DN. Refundable, but how long you can make the changes? Within how many months or how many years? Time frame to issue e-invoice adjustment. ESCN after 72 hours. How long? Logically, how long? Okay. The answer is no time frame, means forever. No time frame. You want to adjust your invoice using CN after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Yes, you can. Because the business practice is like that. Some business, they give credit terms, even though they give credit terms 3 months, but the buyer pay money maybe 1 year later. And it's true scenario. Okay, maybe cash flow problem, they pay 2 years later, got also. But when they pay money, they ask the supplier, hey, sorry, I want to pay money, but I don't have enough money. He give you some discount. I pay all okay, not normally the supplier say yes okay. At least I can collect money. So I give discount. So I give discount, I give credit note. So after 2 years you issue credit note, still okay. This is real life business practice. 11. What is e-invoice treatment for deposit? Deposit got 2 kind, right? I think you already very familiar with this. I repeat few times already. Deposit is refundable, then you no need to issue e-invoice. If deposit is non-refundable, e-invoice is required to issue. Same concept applies to voucher. Voucher maybe is not so applicable to SME. Voucher, good example is you can go and buy cash voucher I can buy cash voucher. And then I will sell you cash voucher. You can see whether this is refundable or not refundable. Normally it's not refundable, right? Not refundable means the time you buy the voucher is considered their sales already. So they will issue e-invoice. Okay, if they say this voucher for you, if you don't want to use, you can return and get back the money. This is refundable, right? So if refundable, then they cannot issue e-invoice. This is the thing. Okay, now I have 5 series of the questions, which is the same question. This is very commonly asked during my previous seminar. Okay, the question is, who should issue e-invoice? You challenge yourself. Okay, now this is a first scenario. Okay, landlord not doing business, and this landlord rent a property to a tenant not doing business also. Most probably this property is a house. This invest a house, rent to the person, and rent the house for personal stay. So both not doing business. Who should issue E-Invoice? Okay. The answer is no one. No one doing business. So no one should issue E-Invoice. We go to second. Who should issue E-Invoice? Now, this person is doing business, but the business revenue is less than 150. This tenant also doing business, also less than 150. So who should issue E-Invoice? Not challenging. Answer is no. Both also no. I mentioned E-Invoice. No issue E-Invoice, but this landlord, she is doing business, so she should issue a normal E-Invoice. Normal traditional invoice. Receipt also okay, right? Okay, understand? So third also, who should issue E-Invoice? This is a landlord and doing business is more than 150K. This is tenant, also doing business, also more than 150K. In this situation, who should issue E-Invoice? Very clear, right? Very clear, right? Doing business more than 150K, subject to E-Invoice. Number 4, landlord not doing business. Tenant doing business more than 150K. Also very clear, who should issue E-Invoice? Tenant. And what tenant issue? Self-bill E-Invoice. Alright. Okay. Then this is the last one. Landlord doing business less than 150K. Tenant doing business more than 150K. Who should issue E-Invoice? Okay, the answer is not E-Invoice, but is traditional invoice. Okay, you understand? But if this landlord want to issue E-Invoice, can voluntarily. Can. So no question for this. Okay. So we go to the 17 questions. Okay, now we talk about utility bills, like the water bills, TNB bills. Okay. Most of the times when the tenant go and rent a property to do the business, the TNB and water sometimes is under the name of the landlord. Okay, right? So, but who pays the bills? The tenant pays the bills, right? So how the invoice is going to? Okay, I already give the answer. And maybe you try to think. Today you rent a shop, you want to do business, but the TNB and water bills under the landlord, so it's not under your name. So how? How you want to invoice for that electricity and water? Okay, the answer is depends on who issue the invoice. Just now 5 questions, you already can identify who should issue invoice, right? So the person issue invoice, he has to include the utilities inside the invoice. Okay, for example, this scenario, tenant issues self-bill invoice. So when he issues self-bill invoice, the self-bill invoice has to include TNB, electricity how much, water bill how much inside the bills. Okay. If the landlord issuing the invoice to the tenant, under the invoice mention electricity and water bill, so that the tenant can claim the expenses. Although the payment, who pay the bills is the payment as a tenant to pay, but the expenses stated in the invoices. Okay. Now is also another question for the rental one. Okay. So business tenant rent a property from 3 individuals not conducting business. How the tenant issues self-bill invoice? As you know, you need to self-bill. These 3 persons is a landlord. They are not doing business. They are under the category F. So tenant need to self-bill. When self-bill 3 persons, they need to self-bill for 3 persons. Okay. Okay, the question is how to build. Okay, let's say the rental is 3,000. Okay, are you directly divided by 3? Okay, depends on, I already give the answer. Depends on tenancy agreement. If the tenancy agreement saying that, okay, this first person, yes, the big boss, he's the big boss, he's sharing 50%. This person sharing 20%, this person sharing 30%, maybe, so total 100%. So when you sell bill, you need to charge accordingly. 3,000, right? So this one maybe 2,000, 1,500. This one is 100, this one is 1,000. Like that. If not stated in tenancy agreement, how? You divide by 3. So tenancy agreement nowadays, after invoice, they have to mention very clearly if this is possible. Okay? I think this is the last question. For corporate agent, where the existing process includes issuing of invoice to charge commission to the company, can current process maintain instead of self-bill invoice? Means that you are a trading company, you have agent to provide selling, marketing services for you, and the agent is not personal, it's a company. Some company, they are marketing agency, so you pay the marketing agency company commission. So now the practice is the agent company will issue invoice to you to charge the commission. Can this practice continue after E-Invoice? Okay. The answer is cannot, because it's mentioned under the section 8.3 self-bill E-Invoice. Okay. Payment to agent definitely self-bill. Even though you have an agent, he charge you commission, he issue invoice to you, issue E-Invoice before you check. Sorry, you cannot issue invoice to me because under the law, I need to pay you commission, I need to sell bill. So this is under the law. So even though you issue invoice to me, I have to reset. Okay. Okay, so thank you. Are you all answered correctly for all questions? Yes? Okay, so now we go to the last part already. Okay. How will you prepare for the E-Invoice? Because now we have come up 2 months already, you need to start. Maybe you can start earlier, maybe you can start June, to get yourself familiar a bit for the E-Invoice. The preparations, okay, including 3 phases, 3 scopes. The first one is human resource. For the company, okay, they need to have accounting team equipped with necessary expertise and capability. Like you today, you attended this course. Now you already have the knowledge and expertise to do the e-invoicing. Okay. Business process, they have to review the current process of invoicing because a lot of training company, they have a sales team. The sales team, each salesman can open invoice, can issue invoice. But after e-invoice, maybe they want to restrict already. Hey, not everyone can issue e-invoice under control. Maybe only 1 or 2% can issue. So how they're going to practice is they need to design for the process. Okay, the third one is software investment. Okay. Of course, you need to buy accounting software with the e-invoice requirement. Most of the software currently you're using is okay to cope with the e-invoice. Like the customized one, they will ask the service provider whether they can have e-invoice. If they cannot cannot cope with the e-invoice, maybe you need to manually submit the e-invoice through the e-invoice portal already. If you invoice every month just as 1, 2, 3 invoices only, yes, it's okay. You use manual to do it. If every day 10 or 20 or 1 month, hundreds invoices, impossible for you to go to my invoice portal manually one by one issue. You need accounting software. Okay. So incentive, there is an incentive provided by government. Okay. But this is not pay money to you. This is can deduct tax. The expenses incurred for implementation of e-invoice can deduct 50K for the tax for the year of each year. So including the consultation fee to implement the invoice. Consultation fee means that you consult for the processes and human resources or anything related to this implementation. Okay, the effective year is from 2024 to 2027. Okay, okay, this is the last thing I want to mention. Interim relaxation period. Okay, it's a grace period for a company or businesses to start e-invoice. The relaxation period is like honeymoon, 6-month honeymoon for you to just relax. Okay, the period is by for most of the businesses will be started 1st of July, right? Okay, from 1st of July until 31st December, this 6 months, all businesses they can choose to issue consolidated e-invoice. Even though for the 6 industry, they cannot do consolidated invoice. Under this 6 months, they still can do. Okay. Or you are now started e-invoice already. Okay. Your customer requests e-invoice from you. You say, even though I started e-invoice, but I relax now because government give me 6 months relax, so I give you receipt. I do console e-invoice. Yes, can. But after this 6 months, next year, you have to implement full. Every customer requests e-invoice, you need to give e-invoice. So this is the thing. But I'm not encourage business to start with this one. You straight away start with the full implementation. Issue the normal e-invoice. Because you issue, if you do something wrong, you still can be forgiven. No penalty. Because you do comply, just only you do wrongly. But if you not start with the full one, you do the console, when next day you start the full one, then you do wrongly, then you will be getting penalty already. Okay, so this is the reason. I'm not encouraging people to use this verification period. Okay, so here completed our course today. So any question? Q&A session now. Means you all fully understand already. Okay, if no question, then we end the class today. Thank you very much.